Welcome to Tech Notice. Remember this little beast we built over here, this monster of an editing PC, and we put this 12 core in there. It's time to give it a little bit of an injection and make it a boss monster. Okay, there's another CPU over here which we're going to put in there, and there's 2 hard drives, one SSD over here and one hard drive over here that I've pulled out from my old editing machine, and it's time to make this into my main editing machine. Now, you might have seen some of the videos on my channel where I was saying that I'm actually selling this and I'm not making any money of it, but while I was selling it, I was actually using it and editing it, and then I thought, goodness me, this is so much better than what I had. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna make it into a beast. So here's how we do it. As you can see over here, there's one CPU inside over here. Let's show on this side, better focus. This is the 3950X Ryzen processor, which is a 16 core and 32 thread processor. It's insane. Let's strip this PC down a little bit and then look what's inside, and then we'll do some work on it. Back panel and front panel off. Now what we want to do is turn this PC on the side like this. What we need to do first is pull this cooler out. We're gonna need to get the CPU cooler out and then clean the CPU, clean the cooler, and then put a new CPU in, and that should be it. Okay, first of all, we're gonna have a look at these cables over here. Okay, these are the CPU cables, CPU fan. Let's take this off over here. Obviously, this is unplugged from the power source. In fact, our graphics card is a little bit on the way, so I'm just gonna take my graphics card off as well. Okay, got the graphics card off. Now it's much easier taking these clips off. Okay, CPU fan number 1 and CPU fan number 2. Let's put that on that side. We just need to undo the CPU cooler, the screws over here, and now it's good to get it done, both the screws one by one, like a little bit on one side, a little bit on other side, to release the pressure evenly. And it's loose. Give it a bit of a wiggle. Here we go. And it's time to clean it up. Tissue paper. Let's use that one first. Okay. Just wipe it clean. I've got a little bit of nail polish over here, so I'm gonna put a tiny little bit on one of the tissue papers to make it just a little bit of damp, and then clean a little bit off some more from the top. That looks quite clean to me. Let's clean this as well. Using some of the toilet paper to clean the cooler. Hoping I'm not getting demonetized for saying toilet paper. Now, I think the old CPU is clean, and then the cooler is clean. And next up, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the new CPU. Okay, slice this bad boy open. Okay. Ooh, here it is, this little bad boy. Check it out. And then I'm gonna take the old CPU over here, put it back to its socket to keep it safe. Open up the socket all the way up. Pick up the CPU. Here it is. Perfect. Put it back to its box. And then close it up. The old CPU back in there. And then the new one. Here it is. See the corner goes this way. Pick it up. Here goes the new one. Okay. And it's in. Push the socket closed. Tightened up on the bottom. Boom. The new one is in. What we do need is a little bit of thermal paste, which I am going to use the same one as I used for our previous CPU. Just put a tiny little blob there in the middle. Not too much, not too little. And then this goes back. Okay. The screw is tightened all the way. Now, this one goes in the middle. Okay, that's done. And now CPU cooler number 2. Now all I have to do is attach the other CPU, the middle CPU, back to the cable over here. Okay, CPU is done. Let's put this back into CPU fan. Okay, let's put our graphics card back. Graphics card's in. Push the power in as well. Put those screws back as well. Oh, that's cool. In this case, there's like holes on the side over here, if you can see. It's for when you put your screwdriver in, you can screw in those screws very easily. You don't have to bend anything. That's a really cool feature. Well thought through, Corsair. Let's turn this up over here. And basically this is how simple changing a CPU is on your computer. Okay, all you have to do is remember that, you know, not all CPU sockets are the same. So I know that both of these CPUs are AM4 socket, which means, you know, I can actually change them, and then have a little bit of tissues, a little bit of maybe nail polish or alcohol or some professional cleaning if you want, just to clean off the CPUs gently and the cooler the same way, and then boom, you're off to go. I got the case screws back out because we're gonna need a few screws to put in the hard drive. Okay, I think these are the ones. Okay, perfect. First of all, we're gonna put in this hard drive over here. Can you see it? Let me show you as well. We're gonna put this hard drive over here, okay? On the very bottom one, slide it in until on the side you can see the screw holes are lining up over here. I'm gonna take a smaller screwdriver, screw the hard drive into the case. Listen guys, I'm so sorry. This is absolutely embarrassing, but there's so much easier way to do it. Okay, so the cool thing about this case is that all the hard drives get installed through the back over here. So basically, as you can see, I've already slotted the hard drive in over here, but there are 3 screws over here. Let me help a little bit with this. There's one on the top. Now careful, it's all loose now. Once it's loose, you can basically slide it out. Once you've slotted out, it's so much easier to do the screws on the sides over here. Let's do all the 4 screws on the side over here. All I'm trying to do also is try not to be too rough with the hard drive because it does have moving components inside. So I don't want any of these to get damaged. Just screwing them in. Okay, perfect. Once it's actually screwed in, we're gonna slot it back inside. The hard drive is in. Next thing, we're gonna put this SSD in. As you can see over here, this one, these are super easy to slot in, okay? These basically go on the top over here like that. Keep that on the side and boom, slot in, and there it stays like that. We're gonna need 2 cables. We're gonna need 2 SATA cables, so which I have these 2 over here, and then we're gonna need the power cable, which goes in the back of your power supply over there, and then it just says peripherals and SATA. So I'm just gonna slot that in there. It's really tight. The good job is that with this I can actually power more than one of the hard drives. So over here we can easily plug in this first SSD over here, and I'm going to leave that cable over here actually, because just for the other SSDs and things like that. And then we need another cable for this over here. I'm gonna get my power supply box and let's get this one. The same story with this one. Plug this one in on the back over here, and then we're gonna have boom, 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 all these SATA cables going in like that, which is pretty awesome. This side goes to the power supply. The other side of the SATA cable in the back of the hard drive. Boom, it goes in. I can leave it up there like that. And now we're gonna have to put the power cables in. These were the power cables, now the SATA cables. I'm gonna put the L bracket one over here. We're gonna put the other one in as well. So let me see where the SATA cables are. We're gonna put this one through from the middle hole over here. Okay, that goes over there. And there's SATA ports on the motherboard over this side. This one is in. Let's put the SSD in as well through the same hole over there. And then I'm gonna put it right on top of it. Okay. And this is how you put in hard drives. Now we're gonna go onto the computer and I'm gonna show you the benchmarks of the computer and how much faster this CPU is from the old one. Welcome everybody. This is another day because, well, it just took some time to figure out this PC, but as you can see, PC's in the back over there, all the monitors are hooked up, it's all going, it's all over here. So let's do some of the benchmarks and I can show you how much better this processor is over the previous one. So first of all, we want to open this program called Cinebench. If you don't know what that is already, then it's just like a software tool that manages to benchmark your CPU. So I've got this open over here. Let's also open Desk Manager and Core Temp, so you can see what's the actual temperatures of the cores and things like that. Okay, so at the moment it's running the base settings that come from the factory. As you can see, it's just constantly fiddling between 4.3 to 3.5 gigahertz. And if you go to performance over here, you can see this over here as well. It's running at 4.15 at the moment, which is quite good, So let's run this test over here. Let me just click run and get these things back up so you can see. Let's have a look. Get 100% CPU load. So at the moment it's running at 3.88 gigahertz. 3.9. And the CPU temps are pretty good at 62, 63 degrees. So we got a score of 8,842, which is over 20% better than the Ryzen 3900X, which is 7,027, as you can see the score over here. This is not all. We can actually get a little bit more performance out from this CPU. Now, you can leave it at this if you want to, but you can have this tool called Creator Center, which is provided by MSI. And once you go to use this scenario and customize, you can actually customize all of your settings over here. Okay, and if you go over here, as you can see, they're already like some of the cores are clocked higher, then it goes down, so it boosted there to like that. But what we could do is just click over here and then try to get it running on 40.5 gigahertz. No, sorry, 4.05. So let's click apply. Boom. As you can see, all cores now sit over there. Okay, it's not gonna go lower down or lower higher. Let's have a look at this test over here and see if there's any difference. Okay, remember, 8,842. Let's get this back up, this back up. Start running 100. Remember, previous temperatures were around 64, 65. So now, as you can see over here, the clock speed, it's running around 4.03. So it's getting 0.1 gigahertz more of the clock, which, as you can see, is going to result, I think, quite a few hundred points if we're going to do it right. Let's have a look. Whoa. Okay. Extra 400 points. So by just doing that, we gained, let's have a look, how much did we gain? Extra 4 to 5% we gained by just doing that. As you can see, I'm running stable, and as you saw, the CPU temp, I wasn't like cooking the CPU either, so it's completely fine just letting it stay over there. So if we look at the last score now there, which was the 9,166, then this is, let's see how much faster is it compared to the 3900X. So it's around 23% better, okay, which is quite a lot. It's almost quarter better than the actual 39X, which is very, very, very good. And this is one of the advantages of having a PC instead of a Mac or things like that, where you can actually upgrade your parts. And this is how easy it is and how simple, really. And if you like the process of fiddling around and kind of building it yourself, you're gonna see that it's a really cool process and you're gonna enjoy doing it yourself as well. But you can see you can just get easily bigger, better performance by doing that. While we're talking here, I'm gonna run it one more time, see if there's any difference on the tests or if you get any higher. So now this is how I upgraded my editing monster into an absolute editing beast. You can do it as well, and this is how simple it is. We got even higher score right now. This is 50 points higher around what we got before as well. So if you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll meet you in the comment section below if you have any ideas, any comments. I'd love to hear from you. I'll meet you down there. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you later. Bye bye.